If you're watching this, you're probably looking to quit your 9 to 5, work from home, work from your laptop, and just make easy money as a freelancer. Am I right? And I get it. I once, 13 years ago, Googled how to make money online because I too wanted that quick, easy money that only freelancing can get you. But before you spend a single dime or even a minute of your time tailoring your portfolio or Googling stuff, I need to give you some honest advice. Because truth be told, not everybody's cut out to be a freelancer. And I want you to be able to figure it out before you spend more time or spend more money in this journey. So today I'm giving you the unglamorous, raw behind the scenes, what it actually is like being a freelancer, past the pretty pictures and the travel and all that stuff. I'm talking no fluff, no gatekeeping. We're talking about the mindset blocks that keep you poor, feast and famine cycles, everything you need to know in order to decide whether or not this is actually something you want to invest in. But yeah, I actually wanted to start with the harsh realities because, again, if you only look at digital nomads on Instagram, it may be giving you a very skewed version of reality. I'm not going to say it's totally fake because I believe there's definitely some truth to it, but nobody wants to share the bad stuff. Anyway, so the first harsh truth of freelancing is taxes. I hate taxes. I hate finances in general. That's why I hired an accountant. I could never figure out taxes, to be honest. But truth be told, when you're freelancing, you're expected to be like a mathematician or something like that, and I'm not one of them. So again, that's why I have an accountant, because I don't want to fuck that up. But at the very minimum, even if you want to hire an accountant yourself, you need to be disciplined enough to put away some of that money you make to be able to pay taxes later, because if you don't, you're going to be in for a nasty surprise sooner or later at the end of like the quarter or the year. It's going to hit you. Now, second, also in the theme of money, it's the feast and famine cycle. I'll be honest with you, I'm in a famine cycle right now. I mean, I just signed my first client of the year and it's March 3rd. Obviously, I had some other clients that are ongoing. It's been a famine cycle, and that's something people don't tell you a lot about. They tell you about how I made 10K this month, but they don't tell you how busy that 10K month was, how stressful it was, and then how boring the other months are. And my camera just shut off. That's awesome. All right, I don't know how long that was turned off, so sorry if you had to stare at my frozen face for a while, or maybe I put some B-roll over top of that and maybe you didn't even notice. But anyway, where were we? Once again, it's important to be organized with money so that during those months that you make a lot of it, you put some away for those months where you may not make as much. Thirdly, I also wanted to talk about all the hats you have to wear. We've talked about having to wear the accountant hat, the treasurer hat, but you also have to be the boss, the employee, the HR department, customer service, social media manager, project manager, because on top of all that, you're supposed to deliver projects on time. That's a big thing. So managing that time, juggling all the clients, all the client messages, client work, and hitting deadlines, it all falls onto your shoulders and it can get stressful at times. I would be lying if I didn't say you kind of need to be a little bit organized to make it work. And also, if having zero outside structure terrifies you, this may be a deal breaker for you and maybe a sign that, hey, maybe freelancing is not for you after all, which totally fine. But still, please watch to the end of the video. I'm trying to get monetized. That being said, and knowing all that, I do want to give you kind of a list, a clear checklist that you should probably not be a freelancer if, one, you're totally unorganized, even in your personal life. Like if you cannot find things for the life of you, if you cannot remember birthdays or appointments, stuff like that, maybe try something else. Also, if you stress out constantly when things aren't routine, or if you like routine and that's your comfort zone and you like to stay there, freelancing is not the right thing for you. If things are constantly changing and that stresses you out, do not. And lastly, and I do want you to pay attention to this, if you think this is going to be easy money, I mean, I would even say click off this video because that's such a skewed version of reality. I know in social media it can sometimes feel like that. I hope I'm not portraying that in my content, but it's not an overnight thing. It's not easy money. It will take some time. It will take some effort. And honestly, if you want to survive the hard parts of freelancing, especially in the beginning, you do have to apply to a lot of jobs, unfortunately, in order to oftentimes get even your first client. You need to really have a passion for what it is that you're doing. That's why I don't recommend, choosing a service or an offer based on what's hot right now. Because honestly, I think being passionate about what you're doing is much more important because one, it will stand the test of time. It will not change next year, hopefully. But two, it will make you more relentless and more driven in order to make it work. And that's very much necessary. When you're just starting out, honestly, you're gonna hear no a lot. You're gonna get ignored a lot, which is sometimes even worse. You will apply to jobs and get rejected or once again get ignored. And if you don't have a very strong motivational push, it's so easy to get disappointed and give up, and all of that was for nothing. And okay, if it's so hard, why do I do it? Why have I been doing this for over a decade at this point? Honestly, to me, the freedom is it's just unmatched. Having the freedom to pick up my phone and look at Skyscanner and see, okay, next Tuesday we have a good flight, let's take it. That to me is what I live for. I love budget travel. Honestly, I do not need a lot of money to be happy, okay? I need 200 euros of budget for traveling a month and I'm a happy camper. I do not see success as like making $1 million or having a big agency or I don't know. I always try to see how cheap can I go. I don't mind staying at a hostel, flying Ryanair, doing house sitting or pet sitting. To me, that's it. Because honestly, my motto is like, I would rather travel 5 times in a year at 200 euros each than do a big splurge and spend 1,000 euros in one single trip. And freelancing just lets me do that. Also going to the beach on a random Wednesday afternoon, it's just so good. And honestly, now tomorrow is Wednesday and I kind of want to go to the beach. Anyway, not only that, like if I'm having a down day, I can stay in bed or work from the couch or just skip that day because I always try to get ahead on my tasks anyway. So it's typically nothing's that urgent. And honestly, I often don't even start working until like noon or sometimes even later than that because my brain just doesn't work mornings. I don't know what to tell you. But yeah, that's the thing. You get to build your life around your interests and your natural rhythms because there's no one to tell you no. And honestly, this conversation reminds me of like last year or 2 years ago. I don't remember. I was browsing Skyscanner as I normally do. And I saw a flight for Alicante that was 13 euros one way. So it was 26 both ways. And I was like, first of all, I gotta go. Second of all, I gotta take my husband with me because this is too cheap to pass up on. And we like that area anyway, but we've never been to Alicante. So we just went. And I think I booked it the week before or 2 weeks before, something crazy like that. And the whole trip for the both of us, flights, buses, Airbnb, and I think even food, everything was under 200 euros. You just cannot tell me not to go in that situation. And that's what I live for, honestly. And if that sounds awesome to you, maybe freelancing could be your thing as well. But honestly, to get to that point of freedom, you do need to actually make some money, right? Like traveling for me is cheap, but it's not free yet. And honestly, for a very long time, my biggest mistake was not knowing what to charge or thinking I knew what to charge and I didn't, especially being from Portugal. I had this massive mental block that there's a lot of unemployed people or people are broke. Minimum wage, when I first started taking freelancing seriously, minimum wage was at 620 euros or something stupidly low like that. And I thought that was what would be expected from me. I had just graduated college. Like, that's it. If I make that, I've made it. That's how much I can make. And so when I first got out of college, my first goal I remember being, I want to make minimum wage, but working part-time. So I wanted to make that 600 something a month, but not working the full 40 hours a week. And I made that goal in the first month. And I charged like $5 an hour at that time. And it was actually at that time that I had like a wow moment. I had a client that told me they wanted to pay more than what I was actually charging them. And I was like, you crazy. Like, why would you pay more than what you have to? But it just goes to show how crazy low my prices were compared to what I was offering them, which apparently was good. After that, I started actually raising my prices with each new client I got. And that's a big tip that I have for you. If you don't know when to raise your prices, in the beginning, raise it with every client. You learn so much with each new client in the beginning that you're totally worth that $5, $10 an hour raise. Just go for it. It may seem intimidating at first, but trust me, the clients won't even notice. And I also, one other thing that I started doing at that time was market research. So if you're too lost for to charge, don't go with your gut. I don't think that's good anymore. We can lowball ourselves based on insecurities and stuff and just how we were brought up. So look into what other freelancers with a similar level of experience and similar skill, obviously, what are they charging? What type of clients are they getting to work for? What type of jobs are they doing? Like, what types of packages are they working hourly or fixed price? There's a lot you can learn from others. And I'm not saying to copy them, but just learn. Honestly, just do your research and get used to it. And so, after all this honest truth, you may be sitting there thinking, okay, I think I want to do this, but I don't know what my first step or my next step should be. If you already started your journey, I got you. I actually created a tool for this. It's totally free, by the way, so don't worry, I'm not asking for money, but it's essentially a flowchart. I don't know if you're as old as me, but remember those flowcharts in the magazines, teen magazines of the 2000s that ask you a couple of questions and then you went the path? That's what I was inspired by. But essentially, it will ask you a handful of questions and it will give you an answer of what your next step should be in your journey. And if you have any questions, feel free to DM me. The best place is on Instagram, same username. I'll have it linked down below, by the way. I forgot to say that. So go grab that and see what your next move should be and take that next move. Like, I know it can be, we can always leave it for later, but take it this week, today. And you appreciated this honest look at freelancing. I would really, really appreciate it if you hit the like button and subscribe. Stick around because I have many more tips on freelancing to give you. And let me know in the comments maybe what the biggest hurdle in your freelancing journey has been so far. How can I help? I want to be that help that I wish I had when I first started. So yeah, let me know and I'll see you in the next video.